Hey everyone, me Kevin here with
Lauren. Hey.
Yay! Who also has a YouTube channel but needs to frickin' post.
I will. It's coming soon.
Yeah. So today we are going to do a couples reacts to a CNBC Millennial Money living on $178K a year in Chicago. Millennial Money edition.
I just think right away this is probably like one of the best B-roll I've seen of these because this is actually like really cool and they're doing it. Like,
that's a good point because
really
usually
cool.
It's like B-roll of like the plant on the shelf. Or
yeah, or you just like walking down a street or something. They're actually
true.
like doing something really unique and cool.
I wish I could do that.
My name is Dylan Gutierrez. I'm 30 years old.
I'm Geraldine Mendoza. I'm 29 years old.
And together we make $178,000 a year.
As professional ballet dancers here in Chicago, Illinois.
I want to live in Chicago. That place is so beautiful.
That's a really cool city.
It is such an awesome city. And hey, you're 30 and I'm 28. We're almost the same ages here.
Yeah, we're kind of the same.
We both met at the Joffrey Ballet. Geraldine joined in 2011 and I joined in 2009. Once she joined the company, we crossed paths kind of immediately and the rest is history. Last year, I took home about $77,000 from the Joffrey Ballet.
And I made $66,000 from the Joffrey Ballet.
Oh, so they both work full-time at the same place they met at.
Yeah.
And that's how they make their money. That is so cool.
It's super cool, and I'm wondering, like, I don't really know much about the ballet system and how that works with making money, but it's like I'm assuming they live in Chicago. Maybe they do some performances that, you know, gather a crowd or whatever, and like
That's a
official
kind of an
ballet.
issue. An issue during a pandemic.
Yeah, that's true.
Ugh. Oh, they teach classes too.
Oh.
Additional money.
Okay.
Last year, I made $15,000 in additional income.
They should start a YouTube channel.
Yeah.
And because during this pandemic, I just feel bad for anybody who's doing performances that
Yeah.
you may as well teach everything that you know online because like I don't know how many performances you can do during a pandemic.
Yeah, unless it's like
if
an
we
outdoor
shut down
thing,
again.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
And I made $20,000 in additional income.
Is that bathroom pink or is that just a light? I think that's just the light.
I think it might be the light.
Maybe that's like a light on the bidet or something like that.
We bought this apartment 3 years ago.
In 2017 of May.
And it was originally listed at $349,000.
You know it's not that big when the dining table is against the bar.
I literally was thinking that too because that doesn't make much sense. But yeah, if it's just kind of a tightly squeezed area, then that, you know.
And for a 1.5 bath in Chicago, it's probably not surprising. This is much more functional.
Although I don't understand it. I feel like you could move it over a few inches to at least be able to like sit against, you know, that back area.
Let's blame the camera people who came.
Honestly, I was thinking that maybe they're like, you need to like make it seem bigger, so let's butt it up here. Let's probably maybe take away bar stools even. I don't know.
Yeah.
Actually, we managed to get it for $338,000 because we offered free tickets to the ballet for a season to the previous owners.
Okay, that's
Wow,
brilliant.
that's so cool.
That is brilliant. Because they probably got the tickets for free anyway.
Yeah, yeah.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
I love it. That's brilliant. And I actually like the horizontal outlets. That's like a new modern thing.
Oh, yeah, I
builders
didn't
are
even
doing.
notice that.
Yeah.
We put down
There it is.
$15K. We were kind of upset that it didn't come with a parking spot. But in the long run, we're so thankful because we don't have a car and I don't think we'd ever have a car here in Chicago.
I imagine you don't need a car
Yeah,
in
I
Chicago.
don't think so. In those big cities, I don't think it's necessary.
And quite frankly, like you push request Uber, and there's one in your face in like 30 seconds, I
Right.
feel like. Out here where we are, we Uber, and it's like, it'll be there in 10 minutes. You check in 8 minutes, it's like, it'll be there in
The
10
car's
minutes.
like spinning in place.
The guy hasn't woken up yet.
Yeah.
That does not seem bad. $1,953. That was almost like our first housing payment.
Yeah.
Our big main renovations were the kitchen and then the 2 bathrooms.
Wait, is that that was a before and after? Oh, okay. Well, that's actually similar to something we did.
Yeah.
Main
see what they had.
renovations were
That's totally similar.
Yeah,
Dated brown, and like that's not an in look anymore with the granite and that backsplash.
Yeah, that's a good point. So they got rid of the backsplash. This is like very like 2010 style.
Yes.
Now, if this were a rental, I wouldn't have changed a thing.
No.
Yeah, because I think they put wainscoting on this bar as well.
The most they could have done if it were a rental would be just paint the cabinets. I think white cabinets would still go with that whole
Really?
look.
Yeah, but you would even go because those are not bad. I mean, those aren't like the 80s, like that oaky
No, they're not like
80s.
offensive, but it is still like deemed dated.
All right.
And I feel like a fresh coat of white paint modernizes it.
Yeah,
but
that's fair.
you know, it's still good.
The kitchen and then the 2 bathrooms.
This looks great.
Yeah.
I don't really budget per se, but when I do spend my money, I make sure that it is somewhat essential.
Whoa, $2,800 in food though, and it's just them two. That's a lot.
Yeah, but they do like an active profession, you know, and I feel like they need to keep very healthy, and they probably eat really good, organic, expensive food.
I guess if you're going to the studio every day and then you're picking up Whole Foods on the way home
Yeah.
and things like, I could see that.
Keeping
okay.
a fit body and a healthy body, I could see that being
But I mean,
realistic.
that's almost $100 a day.
Unless they enjoy like just going out.
I never Oh, okay. I was gonna comment like, why is their pet so expensive? But then I saw the asterisk.
Oh.
That's terrible.
Well,
Okay. Oh, that's so noble of them, and good for them.
yeah.
I don't go to the nail salon. I just cut my nails myself. We don't buy water bottle.
Cabs only $130.
I bet they probably live in a really
Walkable
good
area.
location, walkable to grocery store, and they're probably their studio and stuff.
Yeah.
We try not to buy coffee. Just those little things that we could spend money on, they do add up.
We love to go out to dinner, we love to go with friends, and also it's been really helpful in relationship building for us around Chicago. We've made
Whoa!
That's
the
a lot on
takeout.
takeout.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Oh wow. I mean, that sounds delicious. Like honestly, we
And
get
they have like
sushi every
perfect
night.
bodies too, so it's like, wow, that's good for you. You can do that.
You know, they could do a course on how to eat out
Yeah.
and still be in perfect shape.
Yeah.
That's the side hustle income.
really good friends with owners and managers of certain restaurants that we really like.
I bet, because they really like you.
Yeah, right.
I grew up in San Francisco, California, and my parents invested in a lot of properties pretty early.
Yes.
My parents kind of have this money.
My guess, her parents said, you're gonna live in Chicago, do not waste your money on renting, you buy a place. Maybe because look, he's actually disconnected from this conversation.
Yeah, a little bit.
I wouldn't be surprised if he is renting from her in the version of how
Oh.
they're splitting the bills. They're not going to talk about that, but based on this body language, and we'll see how it develops. But
Yeah.
based on that one tidbit alone, there, I'm making a lot of assumptions.
Philosophy of if you don't need it, you shouldn't buy it. And I kind
zoned out.
of adapted that philosophy.
My relationship with money growing up wasn't really like a focal point of my kind of family's outlook. Both of my parents are artists. My dad being a musician and my mom being a ballet dancer and a ballet teacher. It wasn't like something we mainly discussed. When I met Geraldine, she really taught me how to value having money. I used to value spending my money, like getting it in and then
I think that was where the disconnect came from.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's it. It is totally
Yeah, it showed.
separate backgrounds here.
Yeah.
And this is why I think, engaged 3 years ago, this is her place. My guess.
Maybe.
Yeah.
what I could spend it on. And with her, she taught me how to value actually having it in the bank.
My number one rule with my checking account, my spending money, is that I always have a cushion of $1,000 in there, no matter what.
This is something where the weekly money into savings, it's so common right now in like the millennial culture. Like, that's right, I'm saving every month, I'm putting it away. To me, just get that into investments.
Yeah.
Put it right into
Make the
stocks
money
and
grow
more
in a
real
different
estate.
way. Yeah. It's still like a savings if you want it to be, but you could actually grow the money more.
Absolutely.
So the retirement age for ballet, it really varies. Some people it's 25, they go on to do something else, but full career in ballet will usually end around 35 or 40. It's really important to
That's not good. So they're putting money into savings every week, but they've only got 5 to 6 years-ish left of their careers.
Yeah, I heard that you have to end young and then they go into teaching or whatever, you know?
Yeah.
Save now, and we're savers. We like to see our savings. We have it in a savings account.
Okay, I mean, so split bank accounts here, but gosh, like, get this money in the market is my POV.
Yeah, I agree. I'm surprised she's not thinking that.
Yeah, with
her
the
parents
investment
being
background.
yeah.
But then again, I think what happens sometimes is people will buy a house. So she bought this place, 3 years ago, and they think that's okay. I've got my real estate exposure. But there would be such an opportunity for them to combine their money here, go 5% down on maybe a $450,000 place, go up $100K or something like that.
Yeah, they should have every year done what we talk about, where it's like they could do that slight renovation or whatever it may be, but then move to the next one and have that owner occupied loan, and then go to the next one and accumulate.
Bank hack, hop around. Might be tough in Chicago. I wouldn't be surprised if in the last 3 years, if they went up $100,000 now, they'd probably be downsizing though. So, the other issue is getting the income up too.
We don't have a 401k. I don't like the idea of waiting to see that money when you're 65.
Especially.
Yeah, see, that's going to hold them back very much. And it doesn't have to be a 401k, but that same philosophy is carrying over to why I don't think they're putting money into stocks or even other real estate. It's like, no, we've got our cushion. That way, if we want to go on a vacation, we've got it there.
Yeah.
That's very common thinking. That's one of the reasons I hate savings accounts is it makes it so easy for you to go, well, we got this money. Let's just spend it.
Yeah.
Since our retirement age is 35, 40.
That's nothing. They're putting $500 a week into a savings account and only $82 to $97 into their pensions. I mean, in a year's time, they're putting what, $4,000 or $5,000 aside. There's not going to be a retirement for them in 5 or 6 years.
Right.
Yes. Wow. Oh, good. Oh, that's awesome. So they've got 36 weeks into, so this is going to take them to the fall of probably, 2021-ish, something like that?
Hopefully things will be better by then.
Oh, God,
Yeah.
hopefully, yeah. I mean, that makes sense. Take anything you can get. Honestly,
Yeah.
when they're not working, take the unemployment benefits. Absolutely take those benefits. Mostly because, I mean, I would even consider in their situation, take mortgage forbearance. Today, they could take mortgage forbearance, stop paying $1,978 a month for the next 12 months. That would be $24,000 that they could save up. That attach, make sure, check with your lender, but get that added onto the back of your loan, then resume making payments after those 12 months. But that's $24,000 you could put into the stock market in essentially a bloody market kind of time.
Yeah.
And in a year's time, my expectation is, maybe not even a year, but, year, 2, 3 years, you can be very grateful you did that. Okay, Lauren, I moved us so we can read the wording.
Perfect.
We're novice reactors here. Forever splurge.
My last very big splurge was an engagement ring for Geraldine. I proposed to her almost a year ago on September 26th. I did spend a lot of my money on her ring. I wanted her to have something really beautiful on her finger.
Yeah.
I know everyone's different, every woman's different. I am not a believer in spending, in my opinion, wasting money on a very expensive diamond. Nowadays,
brutal, Lauren.
I've seen really, really good fake-looking diamonds that are like $200, $300.
But it's not real. That means you don't love them.
The love's not real. I don't know. I'd even rather, instead of investing, use that money and have like a kick-ass honeymoon. Can I say yes?
Sure. You light it up in fireworks. Yeah. You're terrible.
The rest of our lives, and I wanted it to be really special for her. And honestly,
The problem, people say this like this is a sign of the rest of our lives, but what's a better sign of the rest of our lives, in our opinion at least, is taking as much money as we can now and investing it.
Yeah.
So that we can guarantee better lives.
Yeah. I would ideally want to invest that. I wouldn't ideally want the honeymoon. I'm just saying.
Right.
I would rather do a lot of other things than have a really expensive ring.
Backtracking now. Yeah. Fireworks. Let's get pyro over here.
if I had all the money in the world, I would spend it on Geraldine if I had the choice.
Aww.
That's very sweet.
Plan to get married in Italy. That's what we did.
Yeah.
That's cool.
You have to be certified not crazy. Literally something we had to do.
True. We had to go down the Italian consulate in Los Angeles.
And have two witnesses saying that we weren't mentally insane. This is not a joke. And you can't get married on a Tuesday, I think it is.
We had to pay them.
The witnesses? Yeah. We're not crazy.
We're not in a rush really because we're essentially married already. But also our dog Kahlua is a little old lady. She was diagnosed with lymphoma. I think we spent almost like $8,000 to $9,000 on her chemo treatments. And actually yesterday morning we found out that she got it again. The thought of like going to Italy and leaving her behind is like definitely not a priority for us.
Well, I mean, not that it's good what's happening, but COVID can't be traveling anyway, right? So
True.
Yeah.
And I don't know that there would be a massive 178K. Maybe they could check, but if one person has very low income and one person has very high income, sometimes it makes sense to get married and then you save
just
a lot
get
of money.
paper married and then have like
taxes.
a symbolic one later if you want to have a big ceremony or whatever.
They have similar incomes, so in some states
So it
there's
might make
actually a marriage
sense.
penalty if you have similar incomes.
We love her very much and don't want to give up on her, so we're gonna go ahead with treatments with her again and do our best to keep her around as long as possible.
That's such a heartbreaking thing to hear.
Yeah.
I mean, like, that's the other thing is they've got a few things this is, unfortunately, you got 6 years left before you got to retire. And there are
Right.
these serious expenses coming up, and
Yeah.
it sucks. And I'm certainly not saying don't spend the money. I mean, spend the money on I mean, that's family.
That's like their baby.
That's family. That's
Yeah.
their baby, of course. It's just unfortunate because they're getting hit so hard here. Pandemic, they've
Right.
got to retire early. They've got this terrible circumstance with their baby. And this is
Right.
terrible.
Our career goals for After We Dance seem pretty lofty. It's one of the reasons why we have kind of strict saving rules and why Geraldine wants us to save a lot of money. One of my goals is to start a production company eventually. So I would really like to create a lot more content around the arts that doesn't just relate to other artists and dancers. I want it to
Start now. Start right now. Like, especially during the pandemic.
Yep.
relate to people as a whole.
And I would love to pursue a career in interior design after I'm done dancing. I don't know which avenue to take. I just know that I love to kind of curate rooms and vibes, and it kind of gives me the same joy as when I'm dancing on stage.
Yeah, I could tell actually first impression of their place. I'm like, wow, that's a really well-designed
Trendy,
place.
yeah.
The only thing I was commenting was that dining table. I'm like, that doesn't make sense, but now it does with their dance floor.
Right, yeah. I don't think they put that there. That was production putting it there. We got to make it look normal.
Maybe, yeah.
Bring the table back out.
Yeah.
You could start actually by taking classes to get your architectural license, because becoming an architect, you take interior design classes. So you could become an interior designer and an architect essentially in the same curriculum. And hey, there's money to be made there, especially
Hey, if
with
she's
3D
watching
scanning.
it, do it during COVID.
Do it. That's what I'm saying.
There's a lot of opportunity to further progress yourself since you're home, you know?
Absolutely. And you can learn all this stuff online now too.
Yeah.
And the direction they're going with like 3D scanning technologies and that now, architecture is going to become a great field in my opinion, if you stay with the times and the technology.
Right.
Good. Start already.
Would like
let's
to.
go.
So they haven't, I mean, with the exception of their own, they haven't invested.
No, but remember, it's hers. My guess. That's my guess. And see, they would like to invest, so they have not invested yet. Because technically, if they both owned this as a couple,
Yeah.
that would have been an investment already.
No.
Although you get the people that are like, the place you live in is not investment, blah, blah, blah. But that's for a different video. I will fight that all day long. It's garbage. No, it's great that she already owns this. Again, I'm making that assumption. But I agree, they need to get into, but they need to do this now.
Yeah.
Because again, if they're going to retire in 5 or 6 years, they need to take advantage of the fact that they can qualify now.
Right.
In a year from now, they're not going to be able to qualify anymore if that pandemic money runs out.
Yep, it's true.
After our careers in dance, we would still like to hopefully have this place and Airbnb it or rent it out, depending on where we move. But we would like to move back to California eventually, but I feel like
Why?
our apartment here is kind of prime real estate because we're right next to Wrigley Field.
So the big takeaway for me, oh my goodness, stop saving, start investing right away. They're making somewhere around $16,000 per month. They're spending $3,000 a month of that on takeout and food. Take
That's a
half
lot.
of that and invest that. Like buy 2 Tesla stock every single month. Like you get invested, especially with these other expenses that they have. They've got to have the money working for them, and throwing it into a savings account is a fatal mistake, especially with their retirement from dancing coming in 6 years, and they've got a very uncertain future even over the next 12 months.
Yeah, I completely agree. Yeah. But I will say that they seem like a lovely couple, and I honestly wouldn't say that if I didn't think it. They seem like genuinely really nice.
And he's part of Beard Gang.
But I just am so impressed by like what they do. That's just really cool to me. I think it's awesome.
I think it's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
It's, well, there you have it. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to get 3 free stocks with Webull, which you could sign up for in the links down below. And make sure to get life insurance in as little as 5 minutes. If you liked it, consider sharing and subscribing, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Did you hear the UK lockdown?
Yeah.
Where'd you hear that?
From your Twitter.
No way?
Yeah.
Did you like it? Mm-hmm. Did you press like?
Oh, no, I didn't.